Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th Canto, Chapter 12, Text number 14. Evam bahusavam kalam Mahatma vichalendriya Vivargopaikam nitva Putraya danrupasanam. Translation purport by Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. The self-controlled great soul Dhruva Maharaj thus passed many years favorably executing three kinds of worldly activities, namely religiosity, economic development, and satisfaction of all material desire. Thereafter, he handed over the charge of the royal throne to his son. Purport. Perfection of materialistic life is suitably attained by the process of observing religious principles. This leads automatically to successful economic development, and thus there is no difficulty in satisfying all material desires. Since Dhruva Maharaj is a king, he had to keep up his status quo, or it would have not been possible to rule over the people in general. He did it perfectly. But as soon as he saw that his son was grown up and could take charge of the royal throne, he immediately handed over the charge and retired from all material engagements. One word used here is very significant, vichala indriyaha, which means that he is not disturbed by the agitation of the senses, nor was his sensory power diminished, although in years he was very old man. Since he ruled over the world for 36,000 years, naturally one may conclude that he became very old, but factually his senses were very young, and yet he was not interested in sense gratification. In other words, he remained self-controlled. He performed his duties perfectly according to the materialistic way. That is a way of behavior of great devotees. Srila Raghunath Dasa Goswami, one of the direct disciples of Lord Chaitanya, was the son of a very rich man. Although he had no interest in enjoying material happiness, when he was interested with doing something in managing the state, he did it perfectly. Srila Gaura Sundara advised him from within, keep yourself and your mind completely aloof, but externally execute material duties just as they need to be done. This transcendental position can be achieved by devotees only, as described in the Bhagavad Gita, while others such as yogis try to control their senses by force. Devotees, even though possessing full sensory powers, do not use them because they are engaged in higher transcendental activities. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport. So Dhruva Maharaj, he ruled the planet for 36,000 years, and as explained in the previous verse, he burnt out all his prarabdha karma. He diminished the reactions of pious activities by enjoyment, and practicing austerities, he diminished inauspicious reactions. Now this verse says the self-controlled soul of Dhruva Maharaj thus passed many years executing dharma, artha and kama. Thereafter he handed over the charge of the royal throne to his son. So though devotional service is transcendental to all dharma, artha, kama, moksha, the four purusharthas that are revealed by the Vedas. Purushartha means the purposes of human existence. One has to pursue these four activities, three activities, dharma, artha, kama, moksha. And artha and kama also has to be done according to dharma. Dharma itself, there are dharmic activities. Then there is artha and kama that has to be done within the jurisdiction of dharmic principles. Now, a devotee, being the servant of the Supreme Lord, he understands the scheme of the Lord with respect to this material world, and he follows the best. What the best of the human beings can be by following all the principles of dharma. Here, Dhruva Maharaj, as an ideal king, ideal means he executes his duty as a king as expected in the scriptures. At the same time, because of his connection with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, whom he was constantly worshipping, he was not getting contaminated by anything that he did in this material world, because all that he did was also pleasing to Vishnu. So even though direct devotional service of directly pleasing to the Lord, that is devotional service, without any desire for material, without any material desires, even though that is the devotional service, definition of devotional service. But as long as we are in this world, as in the case of Dhruva Maharaj, he had his assigned duty as a king. And the best way to, one cannot run away from such duties. The best way to make the best out of the bad bargain is try to lead an ideal life without breaking the principles of dharma. Of course, the principles of such dharma, material dharma, is not absolute. Especially in this age of Kali, the environment is such that in Kali Yuga, the normal principles of dharma becomes very difficult to follow. It is expressly declared that the three legs of dharma have already disappeared, and there is only 1/4 left, that is truthfulness. Otherwise, everything has degraded. So when that being the case, a situation like Dhruva Maharaj is not possible for somebody in Kali Yuga to execute all the principles as per dharma, at the same time be transcendentally detached, free from any reactions. Here we are seeing that Dhruva Maharaj became free from reactions. Even though he executed all these duties, he was completely reactionless, and he went back to Godhead, or he attained the lotus feet of the Lord after 36,000 years of ruling as a king. Here Srila Prabhupada, and then he handed over the throne to his son. Prabhupada is explaining here the word avichilendriya, which means that he was not disturbed by the agitation of senses, nor was his sensory power diminished. 2 verses before this, we just came across the verse where tam evam shila sampannam brahmanyam dina vatsalam goptaram dharmasetu nam. So, shila sampannam, Dhruva Maharaj, he cultivated a wealth of good habits, Shila Sampannam. Unless our consciousness is, what Dhruva Maharaj did, he cultured his consciousness by sadhana. A sadhana means it's a pre-designed program to develop good shilas, good habits, which support our devotional service. Good habits means good lifestyle. Good habits from the time you get up, what you will do. Sadachara. These sadacharas alone help one free from being disturbed by the senses. One cannot lead a life of whatever he wants. Anachara, do whatever I like and expect the mind to be peaceful. Expect the mind, senses to be peaceful. It is not possible. So step by step you can see how Dhruva Maharaj, he trained his mind in a manner in which his senses were undisturbed, though they were powerful. Our consciousness, chittam, contaminated consciousness, which is nothing but all the memories of our old sense gratification, everything, sukha, dukkha, everything is in that chittam. As long as those things are there in that chittam, the vasanas for sense enjoyment are in the chittam, the senses will demand. Indriya Vegas will come. Why? Because the Mano Vegas are there. There are vasanas in the mind. And this is what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says. The holy name has Cheto Darpana Marjanam. It cleanses the mirror of the heart. Cleansing means what? These vasanas, they go away. The old tastes. The smell of that old sense gratification egos. Everybody in the material world has cultivated in his mind different kinds of enjoyer egos in different situations. Karmi means that. So we've all been karmis, which means those seeds are there in our heart. False enjoyer egos, false doer egos, they're all in our heart. By chanting and hearing Nama Prabhu, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Cheto Darpanam happens. You go on hearing, you'll suddenly realize that I have lost all those tastes. You become lazy to enjoy. You lose disinterest towards sense enjoyment, any kind of sense enjoyment. So sense gratification, sense enjoyment, cleansing can happen. But the soul has got the potency to always, ever fresh, generate desires from its attitude of false egoism. False egoism is a generic attitude of independent enjoyment. If that generic attitude of independent enjoyment is not destroyed, the soul will create new vasanas, new material desires. So never ending. One side you are chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, your heart is getting cleansed. At the same time you have your free will. During the course of living, you encounter again everywhere there are sense objects. And our body is also always alive with so many senses. And if that false egoism is not there, in spite of chanting, one will not find permanent progress, or he won't see progress. Just like an elephant bathing. It bathes, comes out, puts mud all over its body, net, it has not cleansed itself. In the same way, if one does not give up that false egoism, the original sin is not particular sense gratification. That attitude of independent existence and independent enjoyment. Existence and enjoyment is our nature. Sat, Chit and Ananda is our nature. But independent enjoyment and independent, contaminated, seeking Sat and Chit, independent of Krishna, Krishna-less Sat, Chit and Ananda, that is what is false egoism attitude. From false egoism attitude comes false ego. Next level, false ego is generated. Specific ego is generated. Because you cannot practice false egoism in the spiritual world. Therefore, false egoism is the first contamination. And as soon as you come, immediately the material energy captures, Maya captures the living entities who have got this false egoism attitude, and immediately comes under the control of false ego or the impression that I am this material body. You are given a material body and then you get trapped. I am this material body. So once I am the material body, our ahanta and mamata is misplaced on the material body, then all the things connected with the material body, my life, my enjoyment, all the soul's instincts for Sattva, Chitta and Ananda, try to fulfill it through the false ego. And the false ego creates so many subsidiary relationship egos with respect to father, mother, brother, friends. There are so many, they are called relationship ego, different relationship ego. The false ego expands. I am the body, is a brother to somebody. I am the body, he is a husband to somebody. I am the body, he is an employer to the employee. So many relationships. Our chittam is full of relationship egos, centered around the seed of I am this body, false ego. So the focus of today's purport and is this avvichalendriya, how to remain, how to come to a state where one is not disturbed by the agitation of the senses. The senses are driven by the mind, and if the mind is not cultured, on the spot, an uncultured mind will fall down. That is the reason why it is our whole sadhaka's main goal is to fine-tune his material system. His material system is an artificial system. But that has to be fine-tuned to match with the original real ego, real intelligence, real mind. This body-mind system is a system of artificial ego, artificial intelligence, artificial mind. So far, modern science, they seem to be very excited about artificial intelligence. Very soon, artificial ego also they will start talking about it. It's just, branch is only growing. Because these are all nothing new to us. Krishna has revealed Manas, Buddhi, Ahankara. There are three material elements. They are artificial mind, artificial intelligence, artificial ego. Because the soul symptom is ego, intelligence, everything. So these are artificial. So chittam is nothing but artificial mind slice. You get bewildered by artificial intelligence now. You ask ChatGPT a question, immediately the answer will come. But it can only, what it learns only it can tell. But it is also, the biggest discovery, it is self-learning. Suppose it makes a mistake and then if the programmer tells it's a mistake, it will learn. He will never make the mistake again. Our devotee has made one soulful japa, GPT. You ask any question, it will answer. Okay, I'll read. I'll read one question one devotee sent me on soulful japa. So I put it in GPT, and then the answer came. Then I just forwarded to him. He was so thrilled. He thought I answered. Yeah, of course. It's a separated intelligence. It is my artificial intelligence. He got answer from my artificial intelligence. Okay, he asked, I've been reading Soulful Japa module and it has helped me tremendously. It reveals big secrets about right japa. A very, very complicated question he asked. Now I feel a little stuck when it comes to tasking. I was just reading module 58 in which you talked about micro-sequencing the application of 3 chestas for each bead. In this, Prabhu, you mentioned that we have to offer a microsecond of tasking impulse just after completing one bead. But what I am unable to understand is that this impulse is a feeling, and if so, then how can I offer a feeling consciously, that is on my own will at a specific time? It seems like I am offering this impulse from my foreground mind, but feelings are supposed to come from automatically from the background mind. Also, Prabhu, if this impulsive thought has to be generated by the foreground mind, then that would mean for every bead, my foreground mind has to change twice, one for chanting, other for offering this impulse. Won't it become tiring to switch between two? Please help me. So first, long question. If I have to answer everything, it will take long time. So I put in short. This is only during practice. Mind is very fast and learns very fast. Tasking, unlike chanting and hearing, need not be conscious. It can go into auto mode to release the impulse. Yes, sure, Prabhu, I'll apply this. Thanks a lot for helping. Then I thought, let me ask GPT. See the answer given by the GPT. The answer to your question is that it takes time and practice to train your mind to offer the tasking impulse from your background mind. You need to be patient and consistent in your practice. And with the help of divine grace from your Guru and Krishna, you will eventually be able to create the right kind of mind slices that will enable you to offer the tasking impulse from your background mind. It is important to remember that tasking impulse is not just a feeling but also involves appreciative sound recognition, humility, faith, love, surrender, and gratitude for mercy. All of these elements need to be present in order for the tasking impulse to be successful. Just amazing. Just from my Soulful Japa book. It is not simply reproducing statements from there. The concepts are being taken and it is, hashed and rehashed and everything. And there is a generic intellectual structuring for it to take the material and do it. It's very interesting, no? Just see how much it is producing. This is how this artificial intelligence, how this branch has progressed. It is not a sequence, logical way of thinking. Artificial intelligence doesn't think logically, sequentially. It may produce logical things, but its processing is not logical. Its process is, they copied how the brain processes. Huge computation brain is capable of. It takes so many things and it's copy the brain. Brain doesn't work like computer. Computer programming, it works in a different way. So, our brain is material. Now are you convinced that how we can generate idea? Almost. So it's artificial intelligence. It's artificial ego. It's artificial, and this is what our Vaishnava philosophy says. The soul has forgotten its spiritual body, spiritual intelligence, spiritual mind, and has identified with the material body, material intelligence, material ego. Exactly, it is duplicated a spiritual system. In the spiritual world, there is an ecosystem. I am having a spiritual mind, I am having a spiritual ego, I am having a spiritual intelligence. I am having spiritual senses, spiritual body, spiritual consciousness called Shuddha Chitta. So in the spiritual world, the spirit soul, Shuddha Chitta with a spiritual body. And that spiritual body is of internal energy. Here, because you cannot do what your false egoism, you cannot express in the material, in the spiritual world. Therefore, the Lord is so kind that He doesn't suppress your desire. You want Krishna-less life? Come on, go into the material world, I'll give you a duplicate system. You'll have a system which is identical to spiritual world. You will have a body, you will have a mind, you will have intelligence, you will have everything. But all those things will work according to material laws. And the entire system will be driven by your spirit. Your spirit energies, your free will, everything is trapped. Artificial ego, artificial intelligence, artificial mind, they cannot function on their own. They need the touch of the spirit. They need the touch of the spirit. The I-ness and minus, ahanta and mamata that we feel, it is coming from the soul. That ego-ness is coming from the soul. But it is being pasted into wrong ahanta, wrong mamata. On illusion, I am this body. There is, each living entity has got individuality. There is ahanta and mamata in the spiritual world also. Each of us are unique. Every jiva is unique. But that unique is transferred to the false uniqueness of this body, uniqueness of this mind, uniqueness of my karma. And I identify this is me. And that is you. The material you and the material I is becoming individuality in this material world. So there is great potential if you understand that this material ecosystem can be trained by spiritual intelligence. Sadhana bhakti is where my chittam, which is my old artificial ego, mind and intelligence, has to be cleansed with the help of my spiritual intelligence. That is why this whole Krishna consciousness is called Buddhi Yoga. We have to reprogram Sheela Sampannam. It is so important that one transforms one chittam to pure thoughts, pure feelings, pure actions. Sadhana bhakti, the lifestyle of a sadhaka is such that his mind, without struggling, will do the right thinking, feeling and willing, desiring very naturally. The entire material ecosystem will support the spirit to awaken his Krishna consciousness. So basically, chanting the holy name of the Lord will cleanse our heart. That is not enough. You have to be in the association of devotees and culture, Vaishnavism. Culture, the life of a servant of Krishna. Of course, unless you are able to 24 hours sit only and do chanting, that is perfect, ho gaya. But we cannot. We got so many forces of our karma. How do we deal with our prarabdha karma? Okay, my spiritual master has told chant 16 rounds, I'll take you back to Godhead. Very nice, very fortunate. But then what do I do with my prarabdha karma? Next moment my mind and senses and everything, hunger, thirst, sense vegas, all these things, that management we have to do. That management we have to do under the guidance of the spiritual master through a lifestyle. A prescribed lifestyle. Just like, for us there is a prescribed lifestyle. This changes us, protects us from the Maya. If one does not culture good things, sadachara, sadvichara, give up anacharas, accepting things favorable for devotion service, rejecting things unfavorable for devotion service, two powerful things, two powerful culturing principles which has to be applied throughout the day. Then it becomes our second nature. to accept things favorable and reject things unfavorable. No struggle. Now, Dhruva Maharaj has come to a stage of no struggle. His senses are not disturbed at all. But doesn't mean that there is a stage where the senses will be disturbed. But then you exercise your free will to accept and reject. And through the accepting and rejecting, your artificial intelligence will learn. Your artificial ego will learn. False ego from the mode of ignorance will go to the false ego in the mode of passion, false ego in the mode of goodness. And false ego in the mode of goodness is Brahminical false ego. It will melt finally, then it will become pure ego. Pure devotee's ego. Any questions?
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Prabhu, my question is that in case of Dhruva Maharaj, he finished his pious activities and his other impious activities as well. Sorry, I'm not able to express well. So in case of devotee, how he finishes his pious activity because he cannot fulfill the material desire.
Because?
He cannot fulfill the material desire. It's because we are taking austerities.
Yeah.
So by taking austerities, we are finishing both the pious and the impious karmas.
Yeah, in devotional service, in the case of Dhruva Maharaj, effectively it is said here in the previous verse that he spent his pious activities, stock, and exhausted. Similarly, by performing austerities, any impious seeds are there, that also he burnt, he exhausted, it is said. Right? In our case also, the same thing is happening. But here, it is happening in a little different way. By direct devotional service of the Lord, it is being dovetailed. Because we are bhakti yogis, as a bhakti yogi, of course Dhruva Maharaj is also bhakti yogi, but his situation was not like the special grace of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, where you can, it is given only in Kali Yuga, that immediately start surrendering to Krishna and engage in devotional service, irrespective of what your state of purity is. So you come to Prabhupada and Krishna and you surrender with all your sukha, with all your stock of punya and papa. It's a fact that we all have punya and papa. That's what keeps the body and soul together. You should have firm faith in understanding how the laws of material world works. These are not accidental. These are all destined. So we all have got different propensities. That propensity is coming, propensity to function in a particular way, propensity to earn a lot of money, propensity for opulence. These are all coming due to our past punyas. Similarly, depression, no inspiration, some physical ailment, they're all coming due to our past papa karma. But we should understand that this is a very special mercy. By surrendering to a pure devotee and following his instruction, the management of this papa punya fructification, whatever fructifies or whatever should fructify, should not fructify, full stock of it, the management of that is taken care of by Guru and Krishna in a manner by which it is doled out in your life to strengthen your bhakti, to enhance your bhakti. So, suffering can be reduced. Suppose you are destined due to papa karma, some very big suffering, which may result in your losing faith in Krishna. Oh, I am a devotee of Krishna, but I am suffering so much. Then Krishna, Prabhupada and Krishna knows the limit. So they will decrease the suffering up to the extent till you cross the level to lose faith. Suffering will be given because you have to change, you have to learn. It will be given. Similarly, if you have desire to do so many things for Prabhupada and Krishna, you need opulence, you need lot of money, is it not? But obviously, your karmic destiny cannot fulfill all those things. But Krishna can bless and enhance beyond your punya, your powers to serve him. So therefore the devotee always thinks that whatever I do for Krishna, it is mercy of Guru. The jnana, bhala and kriya that was required to execute a task for my spiritual master, it is not commensurate with my karmic strength, karmic jnana, bhala and kriya. It is completely modified, increased or decreased. That is management. Who does this management? The super soul in the heart. He guides the the devotee in his devotion service. Mystically through the process of association of devotees. It's a very mystical process. This management of each of our karma is a very mystical process that is happening. We simply execute our sadhana bhakti, we chant Hare Krishna. Don't worry about, that's why Prabhupada said, somebody said, I'll go to college, I will study, I'll do this and I'll do all those things and then I will serve you. So Prabhupada said, no, don't. Whatever is there, you offer. If you lack anything, Krishna will provide. Don't endeavor now to accumulate anything. Just go into devotional service immediately.
Prabhu, I had another
Many times devotees also think, they see that, because when we are outside world, we think that, you get excited about devotion service, you get excited about preaching for Prabhupada, building temples for Prabhupada and all those things, expanding this movement, you think about it. Then you start thinking that, then I should make a lot of money and then serve Prabhupada. Right? That means that now I will become a businessman, I will make a lot of money and then serve. If a person comes like that, if this is a real wish, then he will say, don't try business. You come, surrender to Prabhupada. Prabhupada will make you a businessman in devotion service. You can do all this here. Not that separately you have to do all that. Everything he will give. Whatever you need, he will give. So that here, what happens? You are safe. Prabhupada and Krishna will give you opulence or will take away opulence, all keeping your welfare in mind, your spiritual progress in mind. And first Prabhupada will teach you, don't think of doing big things. First become a nice devotee. In the association of devotees, first you learn that. Then all your things, I want to do this for Prabhupada, that for Prabhupada. You learn that first I have to do for myself. My chanting has to increase quality. I have to become detached from material sense gratification. These becomes milestones first for the devotee. These are the first projects, internal projects. Take that as a challenge and become successful in the internal projects. Become like Dhruva Maharaj. Then all resources will be put at the disposal of the devotee to do his service. No doubt preaching movement should expand, lot of material things, organization, money, everything is involved. All those things are required if eventually Lord Chaitanya's movement has to spread. No doubt those are all required. But those things required spiritual handling without being poisoned by that and becoming karmis again. We cannot feed our material desires in the name of spiritual preaching. So preaching always have to go parallel with one's self-purification. Once without commensurate with your self-purification, you think of big preaching, it will remain only thinking. Not only it will remain thinking, it will add to your anarthas. And your Bhakti Lata creeper will get choked by material desires. All your nice chanting that you do will go and feed the material desires. Very important. When we develop faith in chanting of the holy name of the Lord, it is not for increasing our material desires. If we don't learn how to surrender, then our chanting, more you chant, more it will go and feed the anarthas. So we should chant more and we should associate with the devotees to see that we don't create self-sanctioned plans, self-sanctioned preaching project, self-sanctioned, it's very dangerous because hidden motives is there in the subconscious mind. Just surrender to Krishna, surrender to the holy name. My tomorrow is yours. Where you want to lead, you lead me. That's all, over. And then Krishna will take care of our life. And that's exactly how when we joined ISKCON, we were like that. After that we become complicated. Simple, beautiful idea of surrender was there when we joined as Bhaktas. Is it not? Can we maintain that? If we can remain in the Bhakta consciousness whole life, that will be greatest, fastest progress you can make in spiritual life. Because there is a simplicity there. There is a lot of faith in Prabhupada and Krishna. After that, your calculative mind started taking charge. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय।